Why, hello. My name is Barbara Beaton, although you may call me Dr. Babs, vampire attorney at law. For years, Twilight has been a topic of conversation on the internet, but it is only for the first time that vampires, such as myself and my friend Vera, friend is a strong word, have never spoken about it. Until now. Welcome to the Cinematic Headspace channel. Delaney is locked up in the closet.
Let me out!
And I'm here to talk about the second installment in the Twilight franchise, New Moon. To recap the last film, a girl named Bella Swan moved to a town called Forest, Washington, where she met a family of vampires, most notably Edward Cullen, her love interest. While there, she became the prey of a famous vampire called James, who hunts and preys for kill, and yet Edward was able to defeat him very quickly. Bella almost became a vampire, but she didn't, and that's all you really need to know. Without further ado, let us get started with the New Moon. The movie starts off with a shot of a moon that took way too long in my humble opinion, and then we see Bella having a dream of seeing her grandmother while standing alongside Edward, except it turns out not to be her grandmother. It's actually her when she gets older. Bella is concerned about growing old and aging while Edward stays young and attractive. Definitely an issue worth thinking about, among other things about a relationship between a human and a vampire. We find out that this dream she had about aging happened on the eve of her 18th birthday. The very next day, people try to celebrate her birthday, and she pushes them away because, well, of the dream that she had, and because she hates receiving birthday presents because she has nothing to give back. Well, that is totally not pretentious at all. Especially not when Edward responds that Bella's breathing is his gift. Did I say that she wouldn't let anyone give her presents? I lied. She does let one person give her birthday present, and that is Jacob. Jacob is her childhood friend who appeared in the last film, although he really didn't do much in it, so he really wasn't all that noteworthy. He gives her a present. He's the only person who can. Bella doesn't really explain why. Then Bella and Edward go to class where they talk about Romeo and Juliet, and then Edward just kind of randomly starts talking about vampire side. Edward, weirdly fascinated by, begins to discuss how the only way a vampire can die is if he or she goes to the Volturi and tells them to kill them, or if they break a vampire law. Now, the Volturi is either a mafia or a government. The answer is never really made clear. They seem to be some sort of vampire government, if you will. Some vampire overlords that just rule over all of the vampires and have unwielding power over them and all of their laws. Or they could simply be a criminal syndicate who loves to control all the vampires. We never know. Later that evening, Bella goes over to the Cullens' house for her birthday party, which, by the way, was probably the gloomiest party I've ever seen. I myself am a vampire, and I've been to much cheerier celebrations than that. While they're there, Bella ends up cutting her finger. Surely that was not a paper cut, because paper cuts do not gash as much as that one did. And Jasper, Edward's younger brother, who is the youngest member of the Cullen family, a newborn if you will, and has to constantly fight his urge to kill, ends up lunging at her. Nothing happens from that. However, to protect her, Edward slings Bella right against the wall. You might be thinking, hasn't Edward's whole thing throughout these movies that he wants to take care of Bella? He is always talking about her safety, how he'll always protect her, and he doesn't want her to become a monster like him. Well, apparently that flew out the window when he had something to protect her from. By the way, after he did this, Bella was bleeding much more, like all the way down her arm. Oh my gosh, it looks so tasty. After, Edward gives her that massive gash on her arm, Bella is taken to get some nursing from Carlisle, the good vampire doctor we all like so much around here, and asks him to turn her into a vampire. His answer as to why he won't do that, does not make a lot of sense. Basically, he tells Bella that being a vampire means not having a soul. This is something that kind of pops in here and there throughout the film, that vampires don't have souls, that they are soulless creatures of the night that feast on the essence of humans. Cannot confirm nor deny that. Bella does not care about this, as we will see time and time again, but she refuses to believe that Carlisle is soulless, as he does take such good care of humans. He is, after all, a vampire who is able to control his thirst so well that he can work as a doctor. After the incident at the party, Edward takes Bella into the woods to very dramatically end their relationship. Basically, he wants to protect her because, as we have seen, he is so good at doing that. Bella explains that he can't always protect her, and she does make a good point. She will die, she'll get sick, she'll get old, she'll get in a car accident. As a human, her life will eventually come to an end. Edward, for whatever reason, does not see the logic behind that argument. Then again, did not see the logic behind the argument when Bella mentioned to him earlier that when she grows old, he probably won't have any interest in her. Edward basically tells Bella that she does not belong in his world, which is a little more mean-spirited, I'm sure, than what the directors were going for, and ends his relationship with Bella, leaving her in the middle of the woods, where, by the way, people have been dying, and there's a lot of dangerous creatures in there. So just to recap, Edward, the man who's always promising that he will take care and protect Bella, has flung her against the wall, causing massive cuts on her arm, and left her in the middle of dark, deadly, dangerous woods. Edward is not very intelligent, now is he? By the way, and I'm speaking this as a humble bachelorette myself, but if a man had repeatedly tried to push me away the way Edward has, I mean, since the first film, Edward has really been trying to push Bella away. Now granted, he tries to justify this by saying it is for her protection, but if you really think about it, he constantly is trying to push her away, and push her away, push her away. At this point, if I were Bella, I would start to believe that Edward just really doesn't want to spend much time with me. Sorry, my tooth fell out. Anyways, so after the breakup, Bella is basically comatose for 6 months. We get a whole montage of her just sitting there, motionless, expressionless. Yes, more expressionless than usual. And not making a single coughing sound at all. It truly is a sad time. To try and help her, Bella's father, Charlie, one of the best characters in these films, suggests to Bella that maybe she go to Jacksonville with her mother. Bella, of course, refuses that. She has to stay in Forks and decides to plan a day with one of her friends that she basically abandoned for 6 months to get out of having to leave. How she treats her friends in these films is a whole other subject. While out with her friends, she encounters some bikers who are clearly dangerous men, and she sees Edward show up and hears his voice as she approaches them. After he's ghosted her for so long, she finally gets some sign from him. After seeing his image and hearing his voice, the closer she gets to the dangerous men, Bella understands that when she does dangerous things, Edward sends her a vision and warns her to not do them. And because Bella is so desperate to see Edward again, she decides to start trying a lot more dangerous things, which leads her to want to get her bike out and try riding. Which, by the way, I do believe is a good hobby. Just not for things like this. She's living a risky life, but hey, at least she won't be giving birth in her sleep anymore. I'm not kidding. While Edward was ghosting her, Bella would have such horrific nightmares that she would scream bloody murder as though she were giving birth in her sleep. Again, more evidence as to why Edward is such a good, caring boyfriend. After realizing that her bicycle is broken, she goes to her old friend Jacob to get it fixed. As Jacob and Bella start to fix the bike together, their friendship begins to grow and blossom, and Bella gets to know more about his family. They all, by the way, are very fun and very lovely, unlike another family we know. As soon as the bike is fixed, Bella jumps right back into the dangerous stunts. While trying to ride her bike, she bashes her head against a rock. My gosh, this girl is quite accident prone. Jacob rescues her and takes his shirt off for the gash. He wanted to use his very nasty, dirty sweatshirt to dab the blood off of her. But I'm more concerned about him wasting. And Bella says to him, "You're beautiful." If I don't know about anyone else, but I see a romance stirring. Bella somehow gets to rejoin her friends again that she abandoned for basically 6 months because of a bad breakup. Seamlessly and with no issue, decides to see a movie with one of them. She runs into Jacob with one of her guy friends, both of which were there to hit on Bella, by the way. And Jacob begins to act a little irrationally. Bella tells him that she's not something he can fix, and that Jacob's about to ruin everything. What exactly constitutes to her as everything, I don't know. She doesn't have a boyfriend anymore. She's not in contact with the Cullens. All she can do is put herself in dangerous situations so that she can see them again. So really, I don't know what everything is, but whatever. Jacob continues to act irrational, and the night is over. On a whim, I suppose, Bella decides to go confront Jacob, who had enough time to cut his hair. He says he's not good and he literally can't tell you what's wrong with him. My goodness, this girl has quite a streak when it comes to men. But he reveals that he knows about the vampires. Well, most of you watching already know how, but still, as far as Bella's concerned, how does he know about the vampires? Later on, out walking in the field, Bella runs into Laurent, who you may remember is the one who was friends with James but warned the Cullens about James' wrath in the last film. Very much back and forth there. And basically, he wants to kill Bella now. But before he can, the werewolves stop him.